What's up, everybody? Today we're going to take a look at Redfin's latest housing market update, and then we're going to compare it to Corelogic's latest data on price reductions. I think we all feel the housing market shift right now. At this point, it's just a matter of how big of a correction is it, and for how long is it going to last? So let's just dive right in. According to Redfin's Tim Ellis, home buying demand has pulled back further as mortgage rates have reached their all-time high in over 13 years. Mortgage rates near 6% have put a big chill on demand for homes, says Chief Economist of Redfin, Daryl Fairweather. In addition, the Redfin Homebuyer Demand Index posted its largest decline in over 2 years. This index is measured by the amount of requests for home tours and other home buying services by Redfin agents. And lastly, the weekly share of listings with a price drop reached a new high during the 4 weeks ending June 19th. So let's dive deeper into all of these things and see where Corelogic lands on price reductions. According to Corelogic, among the 392 regional housing markets it looked at, 45 of them had a 50% chance or greater of seeing local home prices decline over the next 12 months. Last month, only 26 of those markets fell into that comp. That's a 73% 1 month jump. So just to let you know how they come up with this data and these statistics, Corelogic assessed factors like income growth projections, unemployment forecasts, consumer confidence, debt to income ratios, affordability, mortgage rates, and inventory levels. Then Corelogic puts the regional housing markets into a specific group based on the likelihood they think that prices are going to fall over the next 12 months. Here are the different groupings that they used. The first one is very high, which means over 70% chance that they will have price reductions. Then you have high, which is a 50 to 70% chance. Medium, which is a 40 to 50% chance. Low, which is a 20 to 40% chance. And very low, which is a 0 to 20% chance of home prices getting reduced. So take a look at this map so you can see by the different colors, and you can see where your neck of the woods lands and what Corelogic thinks is going to happen where you live. You can see I highlighted the DC area and Northern Virginia and Montgomery County. They give it a low rating, so 20 to 40% chance that we're going to see price reductions around here. I think that's pretty accurate because some of the houses, probably 1 in 5, meaning the 20%, are seeing price reductions already, and time will tell if we're going to see more. Daryl Fairweather, the chief economist for Redfin, said, with home prices still at record highs, the affordability crisis has been dialed up to an 11 out of 10. Home sellers are aware of this as well. A record share are dropping their asking price. Even though there are fewer home sales, prices have not declined any significant amount yet. But if the housing market continues to cool, prices could fall in 2023. So let's take a look at Corelogic's map again. Among the 392 regional housing markets, 159 markets were categorized in the very low risk category. Another 152 were categorized in the low risk category, and 36 were categorized in the medium risk category. So most of the markets are not at risk of seeing a lot of price reductions in the next 12 months, according to Corelogic. The markets with the highest likelihood of a price drop are Bellingham, Washington, Bend, Oregon, Bremerton, Washington, and Lake Havasu City, Arizona, all of which have a 70% chance of a price dip, according to Corelogic. Selma Hepp, the deputy chief economist of Corelogic, recently told Fortune magazine that the probability of a price decline has intensified in recent months as mortgage rates continue to surge and consumer confidence is shattered by high inflation and fears of recession. The number of markets with over a 50% chance of price decline has nearly doubled. So what's happening in your neck of the woods? Are you seeing a lot of price reductions? Are you still seeing multiple offers? Here in the DC area, I feel like we're feeling the shift of mentality more than anything. In other words, if a seller prices their house where the last house sold after it was in multiple offers in the crazy spring market, that house is going to sit there until the sellers reduce their price. The buyers that have not been priced out of this housing market are very savvy and they're very price conscious. They may have lost a few houses in the past 3 months and they're just not willing to throw money at any house anymore. They're reading and listening to the news just like the rest of us, and they're starting to feel like they have a little bit of power, that sellers are getting a little bit nervous. In my opinion, in this changing market, if a seller wants to get top price, the house has to be in excellent condition and show beautifully. It also has to be priced right for a buyer to see the value. So what's being priced right? I think that if you price a house where it would be in a normal market, so you kind of disregard the houses that went 100, 200,000 over asking, and you price it where it would be in a normal market. Look at the comps starting in 2019 up until present day, and if you do your research and hire a professional, it's pretty easy to tell where it should be priced. That way, if the buyer buys it at that price, then the seller's okay because it's really where the value is. If it turns out that a couple buyers fight for it and it escalates over, well then everybody's a winner because the seller gets a higher price and the winning buyer really sees the value in that house. In the Redfin housing market update, they interviewed a real estate agent from Boston who said, high mortgage rates have kicked a lot of buyers right out of the market. This means sellers need to price their home at whatever they are okay walking away with because they might only get 1 or 2 offers now. I agree with her. In my market, if you do what I just spoke about, I think you'll get more like 4 to 6 offers, but that's still less than the 10 to 20 we were getting about 2 or 3 months ago. Let's take a deeper look at Redfin's leading indicators of home buying activity. For the week ending June 23rd, 30-year mortgage rates rose to 5.81%, the highest level since November of 2008. I think we all know that rates have dramatically increased, therefore pricing out a lot of buyers that simply aren't approved for a loan anymore with these higher rates and still higher prices. Therefore, sure, this will definitely cause the market to slow down a lot. Fewer people search for homes for sale on Google. Searches during the week ending June 18th were down 14% from a year earlier. Well, this makes sense, as this time last year, the housing market was in a complete frenzy. There were even some people on YouTube that were saying that the housing market was about to crash last year. Well, I think that those people that did buy a year ago with the low interest rates are really happy they didn't listen to them and are very appreciative that they bought a year ago. The seasonally adjusted Redfin Homebuyer Demand Index, a measure of requests for home tours and other home buying services from Redfin agents, was down 16% year over year during the week ending June 19th. This was the largest decline since April of 2020. That's when we were right at the beginning of the pandemic, where we had no idea what was going to happen. People were scared to leave their houses. They were definitely scared to be around other people as far as going to see houses. So for the demand to be the same now as it was in April of 2020 is a bit shocking. Touring activity as of June 19th was 6% below the start of the year compared to a 24% increase at this time last year, according to home tour technology company ShowingTime. Well, this is interesting because showings don't usually slow down till we're further into the summer, but because of the high interest rates, it makes sense. Buyers been priced out, there's less buyers, less showings. Take a look at this graph from ShowingTime that shows the amount of requests right now in 2022 compared to 2021 and 2020. Both in 2021 and 2020, showing requests were up 25 to 50%. That dip that you see, well, that's just July 4th weekend. But you can tell by the graph, then they come up and then they gradually start to slow down as the summer goes on. Mortgage purchase applications were down 10% from a year earlier, while the seasonally adjusted index was up 8% week over week during the week ending June 17th. Well, this is only interesting because we would assume that purchase applications would go down with the higher interest rates, but the fact that they've gone up in the last few weeks says to me that either buyers took advantage when the rates dipped for a second, or they're afraid the rate's gonna go up even more, which by all indicators they will, so they're putting in their mortgage applications now. So it seems to me that what all of this data is saying, both by Redfin and Corelogic, is that a lot of places in the country are already seeing price reductions depending on which regional area you live in. But the majority of the markets are still seeing some price increases and not as many price reductions, because we still just don't have that much inventory. Let's take a look at the data that Redfin collected on homes that are either listed or sold during the 4-week period ending on June 19th. The first one shows that the median home sales price was up 14% year over year to almost $400,000. The median asking price of newly listed homes increased 16% year over year to $405,998,000. The mortgage monthly payment on the median asking price home increased to $2,500 at the current 5.81% mortgage rate. This was up 48% from $1,693 a year earlier, when mortgage rates were 3.02%. Pending home sales were down 10% year over year, the largest decline since May of 2020. New listings of homes for sale were down 2% from a year earlier. Active listings, the number of homes listed for sale at any point during the period, fell 5% year over year, the smallest decline since December of 2019. 55% of homes sold above list price, up from 53% a year earlier. And this next one I know is one that you're all interested in. On average, 6.1% of homes for sale each week had a price drop, a record high as far back as the data goes, through the beginning of 2015. The average sale to list price ratio, which measures how close homes are selling to their asking prices, declined just slightly to 102.4%. In other words, the average home sold for 2.4% above the asking price, which is up from 2.1% a year earlier. But like I said, in the DC area, if a house is priced right and is in excellent condition, it still will go way above 2.4% above the list price. I hope you're getting some value out of these videos. It takes a lot of work to get you the most accurate and up-to-date information, but it's important to me that you have it so you can make the best decision for you and your family. If you are getting some value, please give us some support and smash that like button, comment below, and subscribe to our channel. It does help us with the YouTube algorithm and motivates us to make more videos. I really appreciate you watching. See you next time. Bye!